Uncharted is a special franchise to me. It holds a lot of special memories from my childhood, which was like 5 years ago, but the point still stands that Uncharted is very important to me. I started out just watching Uncharted being played, not even on like YouTube. I watched my dad play these games while I sat on the couch in the living room. It's not that YouTube didn't exist, I just hadn't discovered it by this point in my life. Nostalgia is definitely a factor as to why I love these games, but they are genuinely good games, all four of them. They have their flaws, obviously, like the climbing can be boring and tedious. Some sections of the games on higher difficulty are ridiculously hard. But besides that, Uncharted is probably the best third-person shooter games ever. Y'all can argue with me in the comments about what games are better, but I don't care, because it's facts. And you can't argue facts. Uncharted was developed by Naughty Dog, which means that the plot is kinda mediocre. But the reason the story is so enjoyable is because of the characters in it. A great example of this is The Last of Us, which was also developed by Naughty Dog. The Last of Us had a boring, cliché, and predictable story. It's a zombie apocalypse game where one of the main characters has some special condition that makes them immune to the zombie virus, and they need to take said character to insert location here so they can cure the zombie virus. It's such an overused plot device, and it's boring. But the reason The Last of Us has such a great story is because of the characters, Ellie and Joel, and the relationship between them. The Last of Us makes a good story by using the characters in the story rather than the plot. It's the same in the case of Uncharted. The plot of the Uncharted games is basically a copy-paste of Indiana Jones combined with a B-list action movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But thanks to the acting from Nolan North and the other cast members, they really bring the story and characters to life. Playing the Uncharted games is like watching a Michael Bay movie, but it's actually good. The Uncharted games are filled to the brim with action-packed sequences. In some parts, you'll be sneaking around the jungle looking for treasure, snapping guys' necks, or shooting them up with an AK. And the next minute, you'll be hanging off the side of a cliff with 3 guys shooting at you while you only have a 9mm pistol with 10 bullets in it. And especially on harder difficulties, scenes like this get really intense, and I love every second of it. Mix this with some nice downtime to solve puzzles, explore the environment, and get some nice dialogue between the characters, and you have the perfect mix for an action-adventure game. Uncharted 4 is my favorite of all 4 games. It's the best looking, has the best gameplay, and the best story, and has the perfect conclusion to the Uncharted series. The plot is that Nathan Drake, the main character, has a long-lost brother named Sam that was assumed dead after a botched prison escape. After Nate reconnects with his brother, Sam convinces Nate to do one last job with him to steal the pirate Henry Avery's hidden treasure. Nate is reluctant at first. He would rather stay as a retired treasure hunter living with his wife, Elena Fisher. Eventually, Sam convinces Nate to join him in the adventure. Nate also brings along his oldest friend, Victor Sullivan, or as they call him, Sully. Uncharted came out like 6 years after Monsters, Inc., so they could have copied Pixar, I don't know. For more information on the Uncharted series, watch a Let's Play or something. I don't know, I don't have time to explain the complex intertwined adventures of Nathan Drake and friends, and also enemies. Uncharted 4 also fixed the boring climbing that plagued the last 3 games. It added a grappling hook. Not like a Just Cause grappling hook, like a rope with a hook on it, that kind. The grappling hook really helps keep the climbing sections at least somewhat more interesting, and you can even use the grappling hook in combat situations. Using the grappling hook is lots of fun when fighting enemies. You can swing around like Spider-Man while blasting people with a pistol like John Wick, and then leap off the rope and do a superhero landing onto some guy's face. Uncharted almost feels like a Marvel movie. It combines action-adventure with great characters, interesting settings, and a fun story. Just with less superpowers and way more guns. Naughty Dog is one of the few game companies that somehow manages to always create a good game with each release. Hopefully they keep that trend going. There most likely won't be any more Uncharted games besides the odd spin-off game like Lost Legacy. But I'm excited to see the sequel to The Last of Us and any other projects Naughty Dog is working on. I'm really not good at making outros, so,